Are we cooked? The title of the live stream. Are we cooked? Well, no, of course not. If we were cooked, then I probably wouldn't be here, No, I'm just playing. No, I'd be here if we were cooked, because then we got downside, and downside's fun to short, of course. Of course. Uh yeah, so I should have been controversial with the title. Right? You gotta rage bait people into coming. That's how this works now, I guess. Yeah. Hey, we all need a shoulder to cry on, right? Solana bleeds. What was the key level I gave everybody on Solana? Man, what was that? What was that? What was that key level that I said we'd likely hit? Level that we're probably looking at. 160. 160. I don't make the rules. Right? 160. That was the number. That was the hot number. We landed a little bit before it. Could we go a little bit deeper? Sure. We could tag a little deeper. But 160 was the number. It was definitely the number. Hit it on the head. Now we'll see where we go, right? It's almost like the ETH bounce at 2,500. I haven't seen ETH go below that price yet. It's interesting. So 160 on Solana. Hit our number. 168 today. We'll see where it goes from here. Right? We'll see where it goes from here. Is this the bottom? Is it the top? I don't know. I'm just saying, 160. That's all I can tell you. Right? It's it's been a fun couple days. I missed yesterday, so my apologies on that. I literally fell asleep and I pretty much blew my entire streaming, basically my whole streamline that I had going for me, right? My streamline I had going for me, basically, as far as trying to keep it going every single day. So it is what it is. To give us all our gains back and then some. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I think ideally a lot of people have given up hope. A lot of people I think let the market. A lot of people. And I'm still in the boat of bear market 2026. I'm still in that boat. I'd like this bull market to be a little longer. Maybe it ends up only being 3 months, right? But I'm still expecting a big upside. Usually if you get that big ramp up, you do get some kind of capitulation, aka upward capitulation, right? Where people refuse to sell because they think nothing's gonna happen. But right now what we've got is prices kind of dripping and everybody's like, oh, it's over. That's all everybody keeps talking about. It's over. That's all I keep hearing from people. It's over. I don't think there's much hope left in the market at this point. Let me pull up the chart. Yeah, let's find it. Where's those images? There we go. All right, we're gonna grab this right here. We're gonna throw it on here, and I'm gonna ask you guys some questions. Right? Let's kind of. Oh yeah, remember this conversation? We'll see how it plays out. Here's the one I want to ask you all though. Wonder where we are on this chart. Right? Wonder where we are on this chart. Because here's what I would tell you, right? Just my thoughts on what I've seen on the timeline and everybody keeps talking about, right? And my thoughts is that we're definitely not at complacency. I don't think anybody's complacent right now, right? I don't think we're at anxiety either, right? Because right now there's a lot of people who are like, hey, this shit's cooked. This is absolutely cooked. That's all people keep talking about. And denial means, hey, we're going to, 300K, 400K, and if we're looking at panic, right? Everyone's selling. I need to get out. So I'm not really seeing this side of the aisle. So I don't really know, like where we land if we're not on this side, right? We're not this lower high complacency roll. And just so you guys know, here, I'm going to show you a a little trick, right? You all want to see the little trick? Let me come over to Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin did this to you all twice over here, right? But the main one that it did it to you on was where? Can you see where Bitcoin topped? Does anybody see where Bitcoin topped? Huh. The never, do you even remember we're never going through, below 30K, gurus? You ever remember those conversations in 2021? 30K is the floor. Don't sell your stuff. Don't give it to them. What happened after that? Huh. Interesting, right? Interesting. And then if we look at this, how did you know, Will? How did you know? How do you think I knew? How do you think I knew? We'll clear this whole chart. Let's bring it back up. How do you think I knew the top was in? How do you think I knew? Lower high structure. Remember, we are never going below 30K, right? It's not going to happen ever. Magic lines. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Matthew. Magic lines. And then what? Capitulation. And then what? Nobody believes anymore. It's all cooked. And then what? Fake rally. Interesting, right? Interesting. And now, disbelief probably right about here, right? Disbelief right about here. And then with this little dip right here. And now we got hope, right? But where is belief, thrill, and euphoria? Where are those? It's pretty interesting, right? It's pretty interesting. Where are belief, thrill, and euphoria? I think we got really close to belief, but I don't think anybody believes right now. I think a lot of people are looking at this side versus this side. And this is the problem with these markets. It will really get to you. It will really psychologically get to you because you're doing what? You're trading for freaking pennies, man. You are trading for pennies. You're like, oh, if I can get in and get out, right? I can get in and get out. That's all your thought process is. Then how did this work? Here's the thing. Whoever sold Bitcoin, do you think that they were purposely trying to match this chart? Is that your thought process? Because I'd be interested in having that conversation, right? I'd be interested in having that conversation. If you think that they were selling to replicate this chart, that's an interesting, point of view to double this tree. And here's the other part I'll tell you all, right? And this is the hard part that a lot of people have to understanding things. Can anybody visually see inertia, right, without an object interacting? No. Can anybody visibly see, how fast a ball is flying through the air? No. You couldn't look at a ball and tell me it's going 150 miles per hour. Why? It's just not something that we see. But momentum is a thing. Speed is a thing, right? Price action is the thing. And You can see the things being enacted on by gravity, but you can't see gravity, right? That's the point. You can see the things that gravity is affecting, but you can't see gravity. Charts are gravity. That's what they are. You can't see the forces enacting on them, but you could see, or yeah, you really can't see the forces enacting on them, but you can see how they affect the chart, right? Gravity is a thing. No, you're good. You're good, Max. No, just because I thought that was a really good point either way, even if you were joking, because some people may actually be thinking that. Um, and the point being is momentum favors, you know, direction. And basically, through physics, we understand for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, right? So this action that happened here was covered by this action, right? It was covered by this action. So there was no need to go back down anywheres below here because this momentum was covered up to here, and anything beyond this momentum was covered back to where? Back to the downside. Do you all see how this is kind of coming together in your head? I hope that it really makes sense. So every market action up should be met with an action down equal to the up, right? Now, in some cases, if the object is lighter, it may land much higher. But now that the object is getting heavier, you should expect every action to repeat its, you know, its reaction side. So this is your action side. This is your reaction side. And every reaction side is a chance for opportunity. Oh, for sure, Crypto Hunter, 100%, man. Like, trust me, some days I get up and I'm like, why do I even bother? Some days I get up and I think that, man. But I really want to help people. I know there's not a lot of people in this space that want to. Like, I don't get paid to do this. None of that shit, man. I just like literally am just doing it for free on a daily basis, like it's my job. And I hope at some point I can reach the people and get them to understand that the game is rigged, but just understand the rigging and you can make money, right? Have a longer viewpoint and you can make money. These short-term games are getting into your heads. That's all they're doing. They're getting you to think in a way that's not positive to your own self-growth mentally, right? As far as your IQ or anything else. Like it's almost like social media has become this game of who has the lowest IQ. Who can say the dumbest shit to piss everybody off and get everybody's attention so they'll click on my stuff and I get a check from X. Like none of my posts are about that. That's why I only get 2K, 3K on average views because I'm not about clickbait shit. I'm about trying to help people out. That's it. That's all it is. Like, and some people may be like, oh, I've heard that one before. Just stick around. Stick around. Pay attention. Hold me accountable if you see something funny. And you'll see what I'm talking about is real. I'm absolutely about this. But ultimately, again, it's all a momentum game. That's all it is. So once we got back up to here, you should have known. Not you should have known. Obviously, you shouldn't have known because you didn't know this stuff before. But you should know moving forwards how this works, right? In the future, we should know that every breakout will be met with a breakdown. Now, just like over here, how all of this is captured here, we can say the same thing about here. Is this the end of the cycle? Is that what we're considering the end of the cycle? Because all this price action, just like all this price action, has already been recaptured. All of this is all consolidated range. So if you think this is the top, then hey, that's it. Yeah, back exactly, Freeman. I was talking about it at 23K. I was like, this is where we're recovering. This is where this shit's going back up. And people didn't want to freaking believe it, man. I'm telling you guys, like, I've been on this market. I have been on this market. There's a lot of guys who are like, yeah, I'm a day trader, I'm a scalper, blah blah, and they may be fantastic at that, but most of the people in this space are absolutely horrible at macro. They can't tell when a bear market's coming. They're trading momentum, and then eventually they'll get absolutely blown the hell out because they'll get so overly bullish to play alongside that they'll get wrecked on the downside, and vice versa, right? So ultimately, I don't think that this is all the market is going to give, right? I'm looking at much more here. I think that we're going to get a lot more upside in comparison. Does it suck to be here? 100%. Yeah, before sale, we're shoving at 27K. Yeah, bro. I look, this whole range. I was telling people, and this range, I was like, buy risk here. I was telling people, I was like, you got a bull div, buy risk here. And basically, when we came up here, I'm like, everybody's like, oh, this shit's cooked because everybody thought the shit was gonna roll, and I was like, no, I was like, keep adding. I was like, keep adding. Worked out just fine because momentum stayed in my favor. As it should have. Again, 3 rules, right? Volume, bottom. Coming down, volume rises. That's forming a bottom, right? Not only this, stochastic, bottomed. RSI, super bottomed, plus bull div. Very simple. I keep it so simple, it's stupid. I can't make it any simpler for people. Like, this is as simple as I can make it. And with that being said, how's it going, Louis? Appreciate you showing up. As I said, this was the recapture of this range. This is the recapture of this range, and we're up from here. Like this, I don't know what I got to tell people to get them to understand. Like, you're not coming back. You consolidated this range. Right? You had big ass W right here forming at the low. You consolidated, you broke out. You had a big M form. Then you had your breakdown, and now you've been slowly consolidating and rising. Like, you're going to keep moving that direction. I don't know what else to tell people. I understand the trenches are absolutely dry of liquidity. I'm not even jumping into something for a 35% move anymore. I'm just buying the shit I'm buying, and when it runs, and I'll exit when it runs. I'm buying floors, not touching a single new launch, not one. I would highly tell people, highly recommend NFA. I freaking hate saying that stupid ass word. NFA, obviously, right? But I would highly recommend nobody touches new launches. Like, absolutely fucking not. The trenches are so predatory right now, it's not even funny. All of them. And if you're in shit, like, I'm holding the shit I have, but I'm not adding to anything right now. I'm actively just kind of waiting for this market to finally figure out its risk factor, and then I'll hop back in once risk, I feel like, has come to a low. And I'm going to be here every day moving forward. And when I feel like risk has come to a low, I will let you guys know. I will definitely let you know. But it does feel, I have no technicals to back this, so I can't tell you, from a technical perspective, I need to see technicals. But it does feel like a lot of people have given up. And it's a good thing for me. It's a bad thing for them, right? It's a good thing for me because it allows me to evaluate the market from the perspective that I need to pay attention more, right? It's a bad thing for them because they gave up before they even got an opportunity to make some money in a lot of cases. I think most people that have given up at this point have given up due to not wanting to wait, not wanting to be patient with these markets. And so with that being said, I know people hate me talking about Bitcoin on a daily basis. I understand that. I mean, I talk about stocks too. I don't just talk about crypto, but I can tell you a large portion of my viewership is primarily crypto. It is what it is. So I talk a lot about crypto. Do I have some really good freaking stock picks? 100%, man. PLTR was my best call of the entire stock market, and I would arguably say it's probably been the best return of the entire stock market outside of NVIDIA, right? Like, literally the best. And then the other stuff that I've talked about on this, on the stream, is quantum computing, AI focused stuff. Like, this shit's not going anywhere. I don't know why people think it is. Like, if you're looking for opportunity and you don't want to take too much risk, go into stocks. Buy the AI shit. It's really freaking easy. Let's go over here. Let's look at that for a second. Let's go into the AI focused. We got Lemonade right here, and this looks like it literally is bottomed. Like this thing's might consolidate a little bit more, but doesn't look bad at all. Weekly time frame, big breakout. A lot of people will be like, "Oh, it shifted out really heavy," but that doesn't matter. Like it's just starting. This shit's literally just starting. The reason it rejected right there is an obvious level, right? It's very obvious why that thing rejected right there. Hold on 1 second. Let me fix. I don't know why this is not set up right now. I have a mouse setting. I don't know why it's not working right now. I'll take care of it later. Usually it does like a circle when I hit control, but I don't know why it's not working at the moment. Anyways, moving back into this, again, you have a decent pullback right here, right? You're kind of consolidating below the range. A lot of people will see price likely float its way back up, fade it, and then you get this, right? And I'll show you an instance of where this just happened. It literally just happened. And that was on the Cloudflare play that I gave people, man. Like, let me try and find that real quick. I think I have it on here. Nah, it's not there. Hold on just a second. Yeah, right here. So I threw this to everybody too, and people don't care enough about stocks to give a shit. But I mean, bro, I literally said like the same thing right here. I was like, as soon as you get above this level, you break. What did you do the second you got above this level? You struggle. It looks like it's going to roll, and then it breaks and breaks out. Like the market is bidding risk, people. Like I can't make it any simpler for everyone to understand. Is it full on risk yet? Hell no. Russell hasn't moved yet. When the Russell moves, you'll see full on risk. But I really am in the camp that by the time the Russell moves, many of you will be late. By the time it actually moves, you will be absolutely fucking offsides. And like risk will have moved 10x, 20x, 30x in almost no time. You'll be chasing. And that's what I'm trying to tell people, to not give up on everything right now, and understand that if you want a position for risk, do it now. But you don't have to go all in. You don't have to put in money that you need out next week or 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now. If you can't allocate $1,000, don't put $1,000 in the market. But if you can allocate 100, 200, 300, then do that. If you can allocate 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, then allocate 1,000. Like don't be allocating in such a way that's going to make you emotional to the volatility of the market. You can't be emotional in this game. So again, risk is looking really good. This is something I brought up today with Louis in the BB Discord. But I mean, for me, like I'm just looking at it from this perspective. And now some of you may be like, oh, it violated the price range. Yes, it did. But it's also above it. If price continues to push up and we continue to see this trend push towards the high side, like this is really bullish. IWM is the definition of bullishness, right? And if we can continue to see IWM chad toward this direction, even if it's going to lightly bounce up here and start to pressure this, IWM breaks out, I can tell you, these breakouts are not small. You are getting good upside for IWM at that point. I mean, here's the overall. Everybody's looking for this. You are not in that type of market right now. Risk has already been heavily undervalued. Do you want to see where this occurs? Here, let me give you a great example. This already happened. You're just not seeing it. That's the difference. You're just not seeing it. It already happened. Your dip already happened. Risk is going to continue to get riskier. That's what IWM is telling me. I can't make it any simpler for people. Risk. You got your dip. You're going to shift to the upside. That's how this works. Would I buy leap options for IWM? Yeah, I mean, if you put them out a year or two, just to make sure, and then the second this shit rips, just sell them. You know, just sell them. Like I think you can make money off the IWM play because again, a lot of people are looking for sharp dips when they got a cumulative dip, right? This is a sharp dip. This is a sharp dip. This, ideally, I'm just going to ignore that, is a sharp dip. And this is an accumulative dip, right? What does that mean? That means this dip happened for a reason. Event happened, market reacted in the same amount of time, right? This dip happened for a reason, market reacted in the same amount of time. That's why we call these V-shaped recoveries. Right here, big dip happened, market recovered, a little bit longer than the same amount of time, but not too much longer. And now we've got into an accumulative dip, something we'd never seen really on the IWM before. It's a V versus a U, exactly. That's all it is. And once you can zoom out and understand the directionality, you could be like, okay, breakout imminent. Because after every V is big upside. I mean, even if we're not expecting anything super expansive, you should at least be expecting something like this, right? And something like this is really big for risk. It's really, really big for risk. And so me looking at this from this perspective, again, glass half full versus glass half empty, I don't think we're at the overbought range. I don't think we're at the euphoric range. I don't think we ever were at the euphoria range. I think we were at the PvP range with a bunch of idiots in the back shaking some dice, throwing them in the corner. We were never to the point of sophisticated investing. We were never to the point of sophisticated retail. We were never to the point of Nike and Facebook and Meta and X and everybody else buying into crypto because it's the future. We were never at that point. That's what people aren't understanding. Like they just continue to spew shit to piss you off, so you pay attention to them. Are you looking to really kind of pay attention to people, or are you looking to actually make money? Sophisticated rugging. No, that was the whole point, right? Blue. It was all at the end of the day, you know, a fugazi of liquidity that was being facaded, creating the uptrend, trying to play alongside Bitcoin. When in reality, you know, some of it will stay, a lot of it will go to zero. The fundamental plays, I think a lot of those are good plays. So with that being said, again, just on the Bitcoin Russell perspective, and I think Russell and Bitcoin and crypto in general are all kind of play together. I think we're looking at a big breakout, right? I'm looking at a big breakout for IWM. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong at the end of the day, right? This just looks way more healthy than a V-shaped recovery. And you already recovered back to the V. Keep that in mind too, right? This was your dip down here, and then you got another dip over here. Okay, let's say we go like this, and then we come all the way back down here. That's what everybody should be looking for. That's if you're looking for downside, that's what you should be looking for. Not this shit, right? Not oh, we're gonna U right back down here. No, you should be looking for heavy expansion into heavy correction. Again, just like what we had occur right here. This is where the market continuously gets people. It makes them think everything's okay, takes it all away much, much later, from much, much higher. And where does it go? It comes back to your entry point. It zeroes you out. Literally zeroes out all your gains. And then what does it do a month or 2 months or 3 months later? Goes right back to where it was at while you sold down here because you thought this shit was going lower. Predatory, yes. But you just got to know how the game is played. That's all it is. And it's the same thing right here. Look right here. IWM, bottomed, boom, boom. Full reset on risk. Look right here. Grind up, IWM bottomed, boom, boom. Full reset on risk. Look right here. IWM broke out, IWM bottomed, boom, boom, right? And you can see every time IWM bottoms on the first leg, it goes way higher on the second, then takes it all away. It goes way higher on the second, then takes it all away. It should go way higher on the second and then take it all away. And you got what we call the generational double bottom. Look at this. Look at this shit. Boom, boom. And what will be the next generational double bottom? There, but we're going much higher before then. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm presenting you a story to help you understand the bullshit that you're getting fed on a consistent daily on X, right? Because a lot of the shit we're seeing on X is just bullshit. These people are not looking at this from a market perspective. They're looking at it from a micro perspective, and they're not understanding the patterns that are being played out and laid out before them. And I'm trying to present that to you all, right? First vector is always much smaller. So let's erase all this real quick and let's get into it. Boom, boom, and right here, right? Ideally right there. That's where I think the next one will bottom. And what do we see after every pull down, right? Every pull down. Every pull down. We then see a massive breakout before a retest, right? We then see this massive breakout before a retest right here. And that goes to here. And that goes to here. And that will go to here. So this is the play to understand kind of your market directionality. I've already taken out when Solana longs. I would say Solana's near bottom, ideally. I mean, this is the bottom that I think Solana should bottom at. I think if you go deeper than 160, not for a second. So don't sit there and say, "Oh, we'll touch 157, bro." No, none of that. None of that. All right. We're trying to be a little bit professional here. But obviously Solana, generational bottom, pretty obvious. Let's throw it on a weekly. Make it more obvious for people. But if we were to delete all this crap that I have on here, even though I think this is solid TA, all the squiggles, solid TA. I think it's very apparent kind of what Solana is doing and the range that it's portraying. And we even pointed out the pennants the other week when we talked about it. And I told you guys, look, there's a pennant here. Pay attention to these pennants. This is likely going to go higher. And we can see here pennant 1. And then arguably, and here's the funny part. Look how pennant 1 broke out a little bit against it and then shoved. And, arguably pennant 2 did the same thing here, right? Broke out a little bit against it right here. But for me, this looks fine, right? I mean, I can even readjust this a little bit if people like. Tell me that line doesn't line up pretty damn well. I would say it lines up pretty damn well. Doesn't mean you can't break it. Hey, maybe it pulls an ETH, right? Has some kind of weird big dip in below and starts to consolidate the range and hold and go. The one thing I want to see from ETH though is I want ETH to hold this $2,500 range, right? Oh, no problem, no problem. I want to see it hold this $2,500 range. I want to see it shove. I don't want to see ETH do this. We've already talked about that. That's gulag territory. So we don't want to see gulag territory. My thoughts are is hold this, run. I think you retest lows like a lot of people want. You get absolutely slaughtered. Solana, holding fine. Again, it's just another story just like ETH. And the funny part is, I mean, we could even ideally call this a, right, one of these. Nobody's gonna see it coming until it happens. Though I'm gonna talk about it on the regular because I think that this is something that could truly play out here. What do we call this? Infamous pattern. This evil, infamous pattern. Well, I'm gonna show you what we call this this infamous pattern here. We call it the good old cup and handle. Wonder how that plays out. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting. Something I've been watching for a while, but just throwing it out there for everybody to kind of see. Good old cup and handle. I think people just need to be a little more patient right now. Just be a little more patient. If you're scared, go to church. No, I'm just joking. Old school. If you know, you know. No, if you are truly scared though, definitely, here's what I would tell people. If this is just too much to take, volatility wise and stuff, and you're like, I just need to step, I need to get away from this. Like, this is just too much. Just switch to stocks. It's easy. It's really easy. I came from stocks. Just switch back to stocks. I buy stocks every once in a while too. Nothing wrong with it. And sometimes that gives you mental clarity, right? You're like, oh, I'm going to do 70%, 80% of the stocks, 20% of the crypto market, maybe 30%, stuff like that. It'll help you out mentally. Because even if you feel zeroed out on crypto, you're still looking at your stock portfolio like, man, you know what? I'm glad I bought these stocks. That's what you're thinking the whole time. You're like, man, I'm glad I bought these stocks. Because you're like, I feel like I'm at zero right now in crypto, the way it's crushing me. And that's what I'm trying to tell you from like a positivity standpoint. Sometimes you need that, right? Sometimes you need that for mental clarity. And get away from Twitter, man. If people are negative on your timeline right now and not consistently looking to give you opportunity, like just mute them if you don't want to unfollow them, or just like don't pay any attention to any of their posts. I've literally muted so many accounts, and I know people are like, F you then, blah blah blah. They might come back and unfollow me. It's okay, it's whatever. Unfollow me. It is what it is. Like I'm about paying attention and trying to make money. I'm not about this clickbait shit. It's not me. Nice shill. Yeah, so yeah, it is. It truly is. And that's something I put in the title too. It's seemingly becoming more and more of a cesspool of just negativity. The KOL lists are wild. Like they're like, oh, this person KOL, that person, bro. Just like, look, if you don't want to follow somebody or you think somebody's shady, just don't follow their trades. Like people are making so many accusations with no real data to back up what they're saying. I'm seeing it consistently across the board on Twitter. It's actually wild. I mean, there's people calling people out because they have 100K plus accounts and been like, oh, this person's a KOL. They got insider information. I don't really believe that. I've seen some of these guys. They're not traders, but they're literally sniping everything that pops up on freaking Pump Fund. So of course they're gonna hit every once in a while. You can't be mad about posting their 1,000, 2,000, 10,000%, gains when they sit there and they probably put in $10,000 to get those gains. AK lost it all because they keep buying all the shit that pops up. So these are the things that happen. Like if you're willing to play that game of I'm gonna buy every single coin that pops up and hope that I hit it on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, then you're gonna hit it every once in a while. And you're gonna flex on people and be like, look at this 10,000%. Of course you're gonna catch Trump, you're gonna catch everything because all you are doing is grinding. That is not is it a form of luck? Sure, it's a form of luck. But it doesn't mean that those people are predatory and KOLs and know everything, right? That's the point I was trying to point out the other day. Is people are like making these KOL lists and talking about this and that and all this other shit that doesn't even matter. It's not going to help your bags to talk about that shit. It's not going to make you some just person. What makes you just is learning a skill set. And what makes you even more just is teaching others that skill set. and helping them get better. That's just. Just is not looking for negativity, looking to piss people off, looking to get blocks from people and shit like that. It's not worth it. Yeah, just look. I'm all about that positivity, man. I'm harsh at times because like I think harsh positivity sometimes will get people back in the game. But I'm not about glass half full shit. Like that's not me. There's a lot of people that are because maybe their life sucks and they want to get out of the situation. I understand that, and that's the point. Come here, listen, learn, try to get your shit together. And if you need stability, obviously go with stocks. If you need if you need some risk in your life and you have the extra cash, play the risk plays. Otherwise, like stick to the safe shit. It's really simple. Stick to the safe shit. If you don't have if you can't afford to lose it, don't put money in risk. Buy shit that's safe. I think like Baba, PayPal. There's tons of great freaking great stocks right now that are at really good ranges still. That ideally are going to go much higher. Like Baba, I think is going to go much higher. PayPal, I think is pretty bottom. I think it's going to go much higher. Those are good risk reward plays that are not going to get you 100x, but they're going to keep your mental clarity there. I mean, it's better than putting it in a bank and getting 1.5% or whatever freaking banks are giving right now. And I know it's more than 1.5, but I'm just saying it's freaking pathetic what they give. So, ideally, just buy some stocks that are solid. I mean, if you want a dividend stock, those are good too, but you need high capital to get good return on dividends. Go with something like Nike. I think that's a good play, right? Yeah, or just hold until it hits and get out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I understand that people can listen. Some people I listen to them for entertainment purposes. There's a lot of people I listen to in the space for entertainment. I listen to the drama sometimes because I think it's funny, but I don't get involved in it. I'm not gonna put big accounts names out there just so I can get some clout off of them. I think that's sad. I mean, it's like posting in the comment sections of Elon, hoping that you'll get noticed and you'll get 1,000 likes or something. People do that shit all the time. It's almost like parasitic. It's a parasitic environment. Instead of creating your own community, you're trying to feed off others. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on a rant, everybody. I'm just the negativity is wild to me. Like, get better, right? Become better, improve yourself. That's the only way you're gonna make money. This other shit ain't even worth your time. Think about. I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'll get back to the charts. Okay. Always think about your time in dollars, right? So always think about it like, you know, I could be out right now. Let's say you make $20 an hour at your job, whatever, or you make 50 or you make 100. You can be like, I can be out right now learning a skill set that can get me $30 an hour right now. Or I could be on Twitter talking about how Jack rugged, Michael, and then Michael and Jack came together and made a big rug and rugged the whole space. Which one sounds better? I think improving my dollar amount would sound better. I could sit there and I could talk about the same thing again, or I could sit here and I can get into charts and start to learn and understand momentum, understand where we are in the cycle, pay attention, right? And continue to become a lot better of an investor, understand what a portfolio is, read up on money management, read smart books about investing, which is always a good idea, or you can listen to audibles, obviously, right? That's always an option. And if you do that, I think in those scenarios you are improving yourself. You're not wasting your time, because every minute is another dollar you're wasting. Every minute is another $5 you're wasting. It just depends on your value and how you see your own value. Every minute could be worth $50 an hour, or not $50 an hour, $50 to you, right? Every minute could be worth $100 to you. Your value is based on what you think that is. So, not trying to get into the more just than thy conversation, but people need to think about every minute of their day as money. Every minute you spend is money. You don't count that towards your family, you don't count that towards your kids. But if you are interacting with other people, every minute you spend interacting should be counted as you wasting money if you're not learning something. You need to spend every waking moment. I guess you don't have to. I do think people need a mental break, but I would spend most of my waking moments, and this is how I've gotten to where I've gotten, is spending a lot of my time trying to get better and perfect my craft. It's not about trying to get into these conversations, nuanced bullshit, little kid shit. I'm trying to perfect my craft. And every year I'll get better because I continue to stay in the game. And that's all you have to do. It's about staying in the game. So we'll get back to the charts. I know that was a long spiel, but I feel like it's needed sometimes. I think not enough people are thinking about that from that perspective. Your time is worth dollars. Don't waste your money. All right, so back into the charts a little bit. What stocks do stand out to me right now? Baba stands out to me right now. PayPal stands out to me right now, right? Outlast the crowd, exactly, Louis. That's all it's about. It's about outlasting everybody. If you oh man, when they say the sellers are exhausted, and then they pull out the photo of that dude who just, I forget his name, man. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on. Oh, bro, I love that meme. It's all about outpacing, right? The tortoise and the hare. This one right here. Hold on, I'm pulling it in. When I see this shit, you already know. You already know. Sellers are getting exhausted. This yeah, Goggins, exactly. David Goggins, bro. Whenever people say, "Oh yeah," this man knows what dedication is. He knows the value of his time. 100% knows the value of that shit, man. Became the world's biggest meme because he's the most dedicated person on earth. When you look at the way he values his time, everybody should value their time just the same. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we'll move that to the side. Oh man, Tesla is getting obliterated. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know why Tesla's getting obliterated? Because all this political bullshit. Like, they are getting absolutely blown the fuck out. What do the technicals say? Technicals say stochastics getting close to flooring. RSI says RSI is likely getting close to flooring, just above the 50. I think you're going to hit the 50, and you're likely going to floor here on the stochastic. That'll probably put you somewhere, relatively, I'd say right in here. You're gonna probably tap these highs right here. Somewhere's relatively in here. This will be your bottom, and then the single run. That's just my thoughts, right, on Tesla. Does everybody want to buy Tesla? Hell no, because they already know the valuation of $1 trillion stock. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Everybody's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to get out and move on to something else. I think Baba's a great buy. Coinbase, I don't think this is going to occur, but this is if Coinbase replicates Ethereum, right? So, because they've been following each other to a T. We've discussed this many times. I mean, look at this shit. This is absolute insanity. Like, how are these following each other so well? But Ethereum here had a little bit of collapse, right? So you could see a collapse on Coinbase, and likely you'll see a recovery after. So that's something to pay attention to. If you're holding Coinbase stock, downside potential here, if that occurs, is roughly around 43%. Yeah, we are still in the game. Exactly. That's all that matters. All that matters is the people that show up continuously and keep it pushing, right? So with that being said, if we get the same move that we got here on ETH, this is what that'll look like. What it will tell me is that Coinbase is lagging Ethereum, which is really weird, but also could signal a rotation if ETH really chads, right? And I say if because this shit feels like it's never going to end. this sideways chop here. But when ETH chads, we could basically rotate from here to here, make a little bag, right? Make a little bag on some Ethereum. So that's why I'm bringing this up, just so everybody knows kind of the thought process behind that. If this ends up occurring, then it'll move over there. We'll be good there. Ultimately, I may have to cut the stream a little early though. We're kind of running into 51 minutes. Ultimately, though, I think like if you look at SPX, you look at all the things that are kind of going on here as far as oil, SPX, dollar, risk. We've already talked about these, right? You're looking pretty good. The market's looking pretty lined up. Will take a little longer for sure. Yeah, I just got a call, so I am gonna have to cut this a little early. So my apologies to everybody. It's only gonna be 9 minutes early today, but we will be back on tomorrow, and I'll do less talking about the things I just talked about and more talking about charts tomorrow for sure. But ultimately, right now, I'd say is a good time to DCA stocks. Pay attention to crypto. Also, probably some good ideal spots for that if you're looking at things that you know are good plays. Risk is looking like it's going to ramp up. It's just the patience game from here. Bitcoin does not look topped. We've already discussed that. Basically, the full range of the two ranges have already been accumulated, and we should go a lot higher with these markets. Sorry to cut it short today. We'll you know what? We'll run it 10 minutes longer tomorrow. How about that? We'll chat more tomorrow. And I really appreciate everybody showing up. Please like, retweet if you're on Twitter, comment, whatever platform you're on. I greatly appreciate it. And everybody have an amazing evening. Thank you again, and I'll see you tomorrow.